Hello class, I'm Lawrence Blanco. Today I'll be talking about sparing nature, the conflict between human population growth and Earth's biodiversity. An overview. First I'll talk to you about the author, an exercise that was performed, McKee's theses, and my conclusion. The author of Sparing Nature is Jeffrey McKee. He's a professor in the Department of Anthropology at Ohio State University, Columbus, Ohio, and it has been since 1996. He received his PhD in anthropology in May 1985. He's published over four books, in many peer-reviewed journals. While teaching human ecological adaptation, he identified the lack of knowledge students knew about the correlation between humans and the mass extinction of plants and animals. He was motivated to write a book that would help get the message out, but without all the scientific jargon that put people to sleep. He ensured the book was factual and included many scientific references, but did make the book enjoyable. The exercise that was performed was a biodiversity exercise within your area or where you live. First, I explored around my house and looked at what biodiversity I had around there. I found that there were some birds, there were some dak rats, also known as flicker-tailed squirrels or ground squirrels that live around my house. There was grass, a few small trees, and my wife's flower bed with non-native plants that she plants flowers that she plants annually. The next following weekend, I went up to Metigoshe Lake, which is in North Dakota, about an hour north of where I live, and spotted quite a bit of wildlife, which included red-tailed hawk, many ducks, woodchuck, white-tailed deer, beavers, otters, chipmunks, gray and black squirrels, and many other different bird species. McKee's first thesis, there are very close relationship between biodiversity loss and human population growth. Currently, the world's population is at 7.7 billion. The planet has a capacity, and the more we grow, the more we stunt biodiversity. Darwin's wedge is talked about in the book. As one species driven into an ecosystem, others may be forced aside and into extinction. One example of this is cocoa farmers in Africa, which are continue to clear more and more forests to create more farmland, which are hurting biodiversity, whether it's forests or the wildlife that lives within those forests. Large population leads to overhunting and subsequently biodiversity loss. For examples, overhunting in the Amazon has hurt the spread of tree seeds due to the lack of large animals that spread those seeds, which would hinder the growth of the forest. McKee's second thesis, the most important conservation measure we can take is to slow or halt the growth rate of human population. Humans need to reduce or halt reproduction in order to sustain or avoid extinction. McKee believes in neo-Malthusianism, which is the belief that the rate of the population should be controlled, whether it's controlled by the federal government, I'm not sure, but who would regulate that? Maybe states. McKee would like better access to contraceptives, like condoms, birth control pills. Education is the key to slowing the human growth rate, is what he believes. He suggests that men that don't like to wear condoms as contraceptives should get vasectomies. It shouldn't be all on women to prevent the birth and the reproduction. He also wanted to incentivize not having children with no or with a few or no children tax break. China used to limit the amount of children a family could have. Now 2 children per family, and people thought this was a crazy concept um, when it was initially introduced. But us now that the population has increased so drastically, it's something that should be taken into consideration. The world would the world has increased from 1 billion to over 7 billion in just over 200 years. The current path that we're on is not sustainable. McKee's third thesis, conservation, biodiversity is vital to the health of our planet and consequently is vital to us. The planet needs biodiversity to sustain life. People need the planet to take care of us, so therefore we must take care of it. Humans rely on the forest to help reduce carbon, but we chop them down for farmland and to build houses. We need bees to pollinate fruits and vegetables, but we hurt them with pesticides. Again, limiting our biodiversity when we desperately need that. Extinction is inevitable if we don't stop placing such high demands on the planet. In conclusion, human populations are exploding. If we had an endless supply of resources, that wouldn't be a problem. However, we rely on the planet to provide us with clothes, food, energy, clean air, clean water, and so on. And each of those have limits. Human development hurts biodiversity, and the exercise proves that in the simplest level. Humans' reproduction forces people to demand more resources. The key solution to the problem, contraceptive, education, and vasectomies, is something that we should really take into consideration. If education won't work, maybe a financial incentive may. As the years pass, if humans don't slow or halt population growth, biodiversity will suffer, and you will see more and more wildlife decline as the human wedge forces others out. Thank you for listening to my presentation.